game. Here we go. Game number 4 in the semifinals of RTS League's Age of Empires 2, the Conquerors Clan League Season 41 is starting, and land bridge is exactly this. It's a combination of a water map and land map. Chooses Zeus, yeah. He definitely could. As there are basically gonna be 2 discrete pawns, and basically whoever wins the water is not exactly ensured that they're gonna be really winning the water, or rather the game overall, because it's not necessarily all that needed for winning the game, because you can still use the land in there, coming forward in there if you are basically thinking ahead. It's gonna be always difficult, because of course at the point like war galleys or even galleons are gonna be shooting all across this, so not really easy to get through, but you definitely can. And it may be some kind of push from the land even can work, like basically go for a trash or any kind of drush or anything, some kind of normal feudal warfare on land can be surprising. So you cannot really think, and you shouldn't think, that this game is gonna be all about water, because your opponents, if they prepared, might be thinking a bit otherwise. That means right now, look at the civilizations: Huns, Vikings, Mongols for Clan Gaucho, whereas for the opponents, well, you can see the difference in there: Vikings, Mongols, and Spanish. So RFR are taking this, I think, in a whole lot more landy, because Spanish are definitely not exactly what you want on a water map. If you're going for water, it's not exactly great. It's not exactly great there at all, as of course the sheep is gonna be just scouting in there looking for the boar, and it seems that this TC is gonna be quite close to the water, which is not exactly all that huge for Dark Device, of course, because if the water is gone, he's gonna be having kind of limited options where to go, even for food maybe in there, for the berries, and especially for the farms a bit later. Might be really kind of issue for him. But in the middle, it's gonna be a bit better for Bullet, whereas on the left flank, Spaden is gonna be alone in there as a Mongol, and hoping that he can have a bit of fight against Patin, who is across the waters, playing the Viking. Not really good news, of course, for the red player. Might not be all that happy about this duel, rather. Otherwise, of course, Mongol is gonna be here also in the pocket, quite far away actually, Nayars. It's kinda interesting for him. He might be having a bit safer game than he had in the basically previous installments. Veryasnikov is gonna be on the right, and I'm kinda really expecting and curious how this is gonna be going, because of course the scouting cannot be all that full. Yeah, right now he knows there's the passage, and he should be right now realizing that he's gonna be alone on the water. So that's gonna be Han alone on the water against basically Dark Device, if he's gonna be fighting for it, and that's a Viking. And as a Viking, he does have no other choice. He needs to fight for the water. So Dark Device versus Nikov, take 2. They already fought quite interestingly on Black Forest, which went for RFRs, which coincidentally is the first loss of Clan Gaucho in this season, as the first loss that Gaucho actually lost, and it's coming in this semifinal. So again, basically just confirmation that RFRs are definitely deservedly in the semifinals, punishing basically the favorites of the tournament right there on their home map. But yeah, well, yet again, let's wait what's gonna happen here. There's a little pond. Is it dockable? Nah, just 2 shorefish. That's just not worth it. As of course the first boats are gonna be coming up, and there is also a bit of fighting in the middle, some scout warfare. And is it gonna be like wall-in coming up? Yeah, he's all in here. I was for a moment thinking that maybe he could be wanting to go somewhere to the top, like even be brave and basically build a wall in front of Nikov. Could be funny, but he doesn't want to do that. And what's also interesting in the middle is that we are having a few more resources in there and plenty of wood. Plenty of wood and really plenty of land. So potentially if you go somewhere in the middle, you're still gonna be protected from the waters. So maybe who controls the middle of the map first is gonna be able to even control the choke points. Maybe could be happening. Let's switch over the chat so that we are not spoiled and such stuff. Dock, of course, on the left, coming from Patin. And that's an interesting position. It's kind of closer to the TC, but also it's like more into the middle of the map. As of course, in the pocket position, there's gonna be Nayars, and Purple is gonna be fighting on the water also. I'm really kind of curious about the dynamics of the Vikings being on the other sides of the water. That should probably result into the Vikings winning, but on the right, it's gonna be advantage for Gauchos, because Nikov, yeah, well, it's gonna be a very hard game for Dark Device, let's say it like that. That's not gonna be easy at all. Whereas on the left there, at the same time, could be advantage for RFRs in Spaden potentially. as he is quite a competent player as well. And maybe having quite a good luck, even against the Viking in the Patin. Well, let's see how it's gonna develop. Otherwise, the map is fairly standard. Everybody having some relics, some food, some golds, some everything. And there is potentially opportunity for trade. You can see it's gonna be a whole lot better for Gauchos. They are having basically the whole side of the map, from this top side all the way to the right. So that's a pretty big advantage for basically if the game goes for about hour and a half plus, rather hour plus, sorry. So that could be really working there, whereas the trade route for the opponent is gonna be a whole lot shorter. And, oh well, plenty of choke points in the way. So maybe from here, all the way to the bottom is gonna be better. Yeah, it seems so. It's not bad, but it's not as long as what the opponents are having, of course. As Darklevice is finished with the wall in, he doesn't want any kind of extra army from the feudal age inside his base, and he will want to concentrate only on land. So who is advancing whom, or rather how fast and whatever. 21 villages for Nikov, as he's already in the feudal. You can see Darklevice went a bit later, it's kind of interesting. And not only later, but apparently a bit more inefficient. Huh, that's strange. You can see he's right now advancing at basically the same amount of villages as Nikov is right now making as well. But, well, that is a problem. Because right now it's gonna be all about the numbers. And even the Viking is gonna be having problems in the early game if he cannot produce them fast enough. And it's exactly seeming that is what's happening right about now. At the same time, on the left, Spaden is doing a good job, it seems, with the 3 dogs. Getting rid of the scout, who is scouting. What else would he be doing? And hoping that he can somehow keep busy Patin as the Viking, which so far seems to be working. He does have the numbers, definitely, as Patin was also advancing a bit later, or rather Nyax. Oh, come on, right now I'm confused. No, Patin, yeah, I said it right, Patin, whereas Nyax is still in the pocket and not really going for anything. So are the pockets going for fast castles? 27 for Bullet, Nyax 26, oh yeah, they are, they seem to be. But Bullet might not be really fully fast castle. But it's almost looking like with 1 dog. Wow, what's gonna happen? That's gonna be fast castle. As a Spanish. Into land. Yeah, that's gonna be into land. Okay, that's fun. That's fun. That's exactly what I wanted to see when he chose this map. Some kind of different strategies from both teams. And who's gonna be having the better idea? As Nikov is already working his way towards basically stonewalling in the middle, which is not exactly gonna be helping all that much, considering that he's gonna be facing a castle, conquistadors, and petards. So yeah, nice idea, but not really doing anything all that much. As apparently Darklevice is building inside his docks, and is he gonna be like really building there, or just faking it? No, he's building in there. He's building in there and hoping that he can actually come back, which is always gonna be tricky against all of those numbers. As on the left, it seems that Spaden is doing such a good job against Patin. Patin does have some numbers. Apparently a bit of repairing is going to be coming on as well. Definitely nice idea. But overall, Spaden not really doing a bad job against the Viking. And definitely keeping the chances of his team quite high in this game. I'm really curious what's gonna happen here with the purple player. Where the villages are gonna be coming, or what's like gonna happen. He's coming into the castle age. We're gonna be having to follow up with the villages. He's so far. Where is stone? We see stone, no gathering stone. No, he's not going for one. So like, what's going on? What's going on? Not even going for secondary rocks yet. So I'm like completely confused. But at any rate, the battle on the left is of course going as you would be expecting, as he very expecting Spaden still having the advantage. Definitely pushing it, but it seems that Patin will be having some kind of second breath, as he's definitely aiming to safeguard as many boats as possible, as Castle Age is in for Nyax, will be also for Bullet of course. And as neither is helping on the water at all, it seems that they're just gonna be aiming for some kind of economical advantage, or yeah, something along those lines. As Yellow has finally ejected. And he's gonna be having plenty of boats in there, but he definitely needs to hope that plenty of them are gonna be still coming from the docks, as they are of course for Nikov as well in the same time. And it seems that Nikov will be having the higher amount of boats yet again. And yeah, even with that, oh, reinforcements, come on, shoot, start shooting. Well, they just couldn't find the correct placement for the gathering point, which was unfortunate and resulted into quite a bit of inefficiency. And you can already kinda guess here that actually Yellow is gonna be having the upper hand. It's kinda interesting. I was kinda thinking that maybe Nikov would be having the higher amount of boats, but maybe they were just kinda halfway dead, all of them, and it is resulting into significant issues and very good comeback. Very good comeback by Darklevice. And some first horses actually coming up from Nyax already. And what's going on from purple? Drop in a town center. Okay. Still no extra dogs. So what's exactly gonna happen? It's gonna be another TC. He's just gonna be booming into horses, it seems like. But there's gonna be a chance to potentially abuse the opponent for some kind of fun. Yeah, I can see even the transport boat. That was a definitely good idea right now by Clan Gaucho. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be really working out. As yeah, he has been caught up, so it was an idea. It was an idea. Good one. Unfortunately, not gonna be working. Which is, of course, interesting because Nikov is right now probably not gonna be having an easy game. He's gonna be right now doing the same as Dark Levi's. So they're just basically keeping each other busy on the water without any water economy at all. As Spaden on the left, doing the same with the Viking Patin. And it seems that we are just kinda waiting for something interesting to happen. Yeah, it's gonna be attempt to push forward by the knights from Nyax, basically on the land, but there's already walling. And I'm kind of thinking that, there should be enough. But should there be? Because there is enough army actually for blue. He was even able to transport his own units there already. So it wasn't just basically waiting. It wasn't just waiting for teal. He was already producing his own archers at the same time as he was fighting for the water. So that's kind of fun, and it's definitely a pretty big problem because it might allow all those knights from the teal player to actually break the walls without them being repaired. Nicely done by Clan Gaucho, especially Nikov, of course, as he's building another deck at the very back, or the dock at the very back, and hoping that that will allow him to be having some good water, and of course to also transport himself there a bit later yet again, because there are about 3 villages dead. That's basically right now Dark Levi's at 32 villages, whereas Nikov at 44, Patin 39, Nyax at 42, and the other allies, Spaden 34 and Bullet 50. You can see that already Clan Gaucho is actually running away on the economy, and that's definitely not good news this early into the game. That's definitely not good news for them. Well, yet again, it's gonna be all up to Bullet in the pocket. If he's gonna be ready fast enough, apparently one stable down. What else will happen here? Well, something interesting, not so much. Some first nice to basically get rid of those pesky archers. Not a bad idea at all, because his teammate definitely needs the assistance. But at the same time, it also has to be said that the dock is coming up right now for Nyax, and it's gonna be for transport boat to bypass all of those walls and go right into the middle of the basin there. Okay. On the left, this is more or less, well, this is not equal. I was going to say it's actually equalish, but it's not anymore, because right now Patin is having the high number, so if he plays it correctly, he should be winning. Spaden and Patin both advancing to Castle Age, as is Nikov, as isn't Dark Levi's, of course, so that is gonna be yet again a huge problem for the yellow player, as Nikov is gonna be just a bit too much to handle for him, as he is taking care of them, taking care of the archers finally with the help of his teammate, but so is also sending the help Nikov's teammate Nyax. Yep, with the transport he's gonna be through, and those knights are gonna be quite annoying to the Viking in there. And he should be really getting quite worried, because Dark Levi's doesn't seem to be going anywhere. You can see 100 food. It's not advancing into Castle Age at all. At all. So not only is he gonna be completely owned on the water, oh, well, landing. Hello. And it's a secret one. Even with the horsey in there. And that is... This is absolutely horrible news right now for RFR, and absolutely Dark Levi's, because Bullet will have to produce a whole lot more units if he wants to help his teammate. Because at this point it doesn't look all that great, and I'm maybe thinking that it could be a good idea if Dark Levi's try to maybe sling into Bullet to basically help him. Because at this point I'm not exactly thinking that actually Yellow will be able to help himself. I actually don't think so. So that's gonna be Monastery for relics, maybe a few monks here and there. Stables are coming up, slowly but surely. Imperial Age though, very first one right now for Bullet. But question is if it's gonna be fast enough, because of course we mustn't forget that Nikov is already producing absolutely everything in there. Double stable, siege workshop. Yeah, well, he's gonna be all over right now, Dark Levi's. And Dark Levi's will have to run with all the villages he's already running for his lives. For all the lives of his villages, and he definitely need to, as even though right now Spaden is having a bit of an advantage trying to kill the economy of Nyax, he's gonna be caught up with by the army of the Viking Patin. This is just basically some kind of vanguard. The main army is right now below, and he has landed as well though. Okay, so they are learning. They are learning from what is happening, and in that case the Imperial Age from Bullet could be actually quite significant, because Imperial Ages are not coming up. They're not really coming up from Cloud Gaucho. That's what I wanted to say. And those units, that's basically right now copying what Nikov is doing. But as to be said, Nikov seems to be doing it a whole lot better, and especially faster. That's much more important than anything else. So I'm not really certain what's right now gonna happen, because Nikov apparently doesn't care about the water. Yeah, he's letting right now Dark Device through anything that he wants in there, which makes kind of sense because he doesn't care about it anymore. He just needs to win the land at this point. With, of course, Dark Device market, yeah, he's gonna be slinging. He's gonna be slinging into Bullet. And that's exactly what should happen at this point, because he's not useful anymore in the game. And much more important is gonna be the Imperial Age from Bullet. And hosts, or rather paladins of his, he is at 83 villages, which is the same as Nyax. But Nyax, what is he doing? Not that much. Not that much, to be honest. He's not really doing a whole lot at this point. He's just basically booming, but not being all that efficient. Gonna be probably helping somewhere else on the map, as this monk apparently didn't even convert anybody. And well, camels, yeah, he's gonna be helping at least with a bit of camels, which is not a bad idea, but this conversion is gonna be working. So nicely done, and Spaden could be having quite a good game against Patin, because Patin wasn't ready for this at all. Like, absolutely at all. You can see he's right now trying to at least wall up to make the maneuvering capabilities of his opponent a bit harder. But his economy is already getting into, yeah, kind of the bad place. 50 villages, 20 idle. What can you do? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing right now. He's having plenty of boats. Nice. But what else? Nothing. Nothing at all. So it's gonna be really about the race for time. Race for time between the right and left sides. So of course, Clan Gaucho, they did have the idea first. But I'm right now quite desperately looking for Nyax. I just don't see him anywhere all that much. He's right now just trying to boom. And once he gets nicely going, it could be dangerous. But before he gets, well, it could be basically heading into a situation where Spaden deletes Patin. And right now, Bullet is able to defend against Nikov. It definitely can happen. Right now, finally, Imperial Age coming from Nyax. But it might already be kind of way too late. Is that the sling going on from yellow or not? No, actually isn't. So it's still just Bullet. And that seems to be really working quite well. Dark Device at 14 villages, yeah, well, he was getting kind of hammered in there. But much more importantly, what he's doing, Spaden on the left, that is quite threatening to Clan Gaucho, because he is basically removing Patin from the game altogether. Patin is doing what he can with a few monks in there to at least convert a few horses and whatever. But of course, with the counter conversions waiting to happen by the monks of the red player, and especially the Mangonels, it's never gonna be easy. It's never gonna be easy at all. Okay, so Patin seems to be more or less basically in the same situation at this point as Dark Device, which is why this is making the game so much interesting. So much more interesting than it was just a moments ago. And the stable for Patin, really? Oh well, that was a nice hit. Right now by Patin. And he's gonna be killing both? Well, he might. Oh yeah, that was bad right now by Spaden. Unfortunately, somehow got cluttered in there and lost two. Lost two Mangonels to one. And he even had to kill it by knights. So that was very nice micro by Patin. Very well done. And another one is already up. And it's gonna be lost as well. Oh. And these were converted horses. And they were just converted back. What the hell is going on in there? They definitely should be choosing side. Good shot right now into the priests. So that was first conversion by those two monks into green. Then those monks converted them back. And then they died. Well, that was a fun little engagement. But well, we need to also switch somewhere else. That is, for example, here. For example, here, where... well, somebody is intent on monks. And then somebody is Nikov. So Nikov is having about 4 monasteries here. So he's gonna be producing, well, one kind of unit. And he's gonna be attempting to basically outmicro his opponent and steal all his knights. That's probably what's gonna happen. Paladins coming for Bullet already. So that's very important because heavy camels are already coming for Ajax as well. But yeah, well, he might be able to put off Nikov. But with all of those monks potentially waiting here, man, this could be trouble. This could be trouble. This could be some real significant trouble, because he's even aiming for the Imperial Age also, 50 or the 500, 500. That could be working for him, as finally Nyax is making something significant on the right flank. On the right flank, as they are through the walls, and they are gonna be able to basically push forward with absolutely everything. All those camels are gonna be quite a bit of problem for, not really Paladins, but of course, since it's gonna be double, it's always gonna be hard, of course, for Bullet. On the left, in the meantime, of course, castles are already coming up for Patin. Rather, for Patin. No. It's just kind of similar, the teal and the green in there. On the buildings, these are 4 Nayaks, and he's the Mongol. So, of course, he could be expecting switch into Mangurais fairly soon. You can see already chemistry coming up. And that is already defense. Quite successful against Spaden, as he's been pushed out of this island. And he is gonna be probably forced way to home. The way home, and he will have to probably switch into the land battle and hope that he can maybe help his teammates in some kind of push through there. The opportunity is definitely present. It's gonna be kinda closing because Imperial H is coming for Nikov and Elite Mangurais are coming for Nayax as well, so it's gonna be kinda getting tricky. Whereas for Spaden, he is still in the Castle Age. Imperial Age, well, fairly far away. It's gonna be still quite some minutes before maybe he even clicks, as he's still rebuilding himself on the left though. Oh, this is looking like a dock and some kind of cannon gallons or some kind of nonsense like that. This is kind of funny. Not entirely certain what it's gonna be developing into, but it's fun. At any rate, he is being definitely ousted of this little island that is in full control of Clan Gaucho, as at the same time Sem is happening pretty much to Nikov. It doesn't seem that his idea with all those monks is actually working. And Bullet with the paladins that he's getting them first, or that he got them first, seems to be really doing his job, even against all those schemos and country units and whatever else. And he's pushing forward, but Imperial Age from Nikov and Patin, that is an issue, because it's gonna be all 3. It's gonna be all 3 Clan Gauchos into Imperial Age, whereas only one for RFR. And basically the next one that could be advancing is Spaden, and Dark Device is not going anywhere at all. He's only at 29 villages, having a very hard time really getting anywhere. He's hoping to at least produce a dock somewhere. He cannot even get that, unfortunately. So even those fishing boats are ready. They just cannot deposit it anywhere. That's kind of sad news right now for Dark Device. And maybe he could be sending at least one villager or whatever to build the rock about this position, because right now it's in control of his team. But yeah, well, it's a race for time. A race for time, because right now the purple player is doing what he can, but he cannot really push through there. And considering that red is really outside of this island altogether. Yeah, well, those villagers just deleted. Just committing seppuku in there. Not really thinking that they want to die by the enemy hands. Yeah, gotta say some honor in there. He's gonna be switching into some kind of different gameplay, and the different gameplay is gonna be booming on the land, going for castle, and hoping that still the game is not over. That the game is not over, because he's coming for Imperial Age himself. Finally, Dark Device coming into castle, because he definitely needs to. He cannot rebuild himself efficiently without the ability to build extra town centers, and that's exactly missing for him. As in the meantime, of course, it's gonna be getting difficult, because Patin in the Imperial Age is gonna be meaning quite probably cannon galleons, I'm really thinking. And once they are in, it's gonna be a whole lot of destruction of economy, of houses, of everything that Run Forest Run are having next to the shoreline. Well, in the meantime, of course, pushing still forward, as there is a castle being built by Bullet in pretty good position to help his teammate get some extra economy from the water finally, get the dogs up and whatever, as they are pushing forward. But at the same time, Nikov getting plenty of halberdiers. Plenty of halberdiers indeed. They are not really upgraded, but still. Oh, Karinin for Nikov. Like, seriously, he's gonna be fighting for the water? Apparently, yeah. He's gonna be coming back for the water. That's really pretty big surprise. Wouldn't have expected that at all. But he seems to be thinking that to be worth it. And let's see if it will be. But right now, this choke point, this is like a black forest. This is like a black forest in there, right here. Fighting for the choke point. As those fully upgraded paladins, unfortunately, don't seem to be really enough. Especially combined right now with halberdiers. Could have thought it might be working. But so far, it really kind of isn't. As there is just a cleanup of all of those red buildings in here, and otherwise, of course, there's gonna be attempt to push forward and maybe even land. Maybe even land right now on the other side by Gauchos. They are definitely pushing forward for the water. Patin doing a good job of that. This castle though is gonna be a problem, which is why I'm waiting for chemistry and cannon galleons most definitely. As on the left there is, of course, an outpost waiting if maybe there's gonna be some kind of attempt for landing. The attempt at landing, is there gonna be one? Well, doesn't seem so. So far it seems like that Patin is quite interested in continuing the warfare on the water. Whereas there's gonna be castle from the Mongol and a siege workshop as well. So of course always gonna be a problem. As Patin tributing a bit into Nikov. helping him a bit in there. As apparently Bullet is gonna be also putting a bit of stone into Spaden, which makes sense because he's the Mongol, so he needs the stone for the castles. But the economies are not exactly in favor of actually RFRs, because they're having a 117, 132, that's cool, but then 29 for Archivas. Yeah, well, that's basically the result of the actions past, as he's getting for coinage. And then 128, 128, and 138 for Gaucho. So you can basically tell that this is gonna be like 3 versus 2, more or less. Even through the little string that is probably gonna be coming up from Dark Device. And that is always a battle that is just at this level kinda impossible to win, to be honest, if you don't have any kind of surprise in store. And for example, like this one, you can see Spaden is gonna be switching actually into fire ships, but unfortunately they're not really all that effective, especially since there's gonna be a bit of help of the Mangudais. Nice idea though, nice idea for the surprise, but is it gonna be working? It could, because he does have plenty of docks right next to the castle, so he can still be surviving there for a bit longer. I'm just waiting for some kind of transport boost to happen on the left. Apparently nothing like that in store yet, as there is not any kind of thought that Patin could be coming into the land warfare at all. He seems to be really intent on controlling the water as much as he can. Yep, already using the resources absolutely everywhere, coming for castle. That's a very good one for Nyax, also to help on the water. Definitely not a bad idea at all, as he's producing yet another one instead of the siege works that were coming up in there just a bit sooner. And of course they are right now knocking on the door of their opponents, and especially of Bullet, because he seems to be more or less alone at this stage on this part of the water. He's just also kinda checking if maybe there's gonna be second attempt by Nikov to raid, or rather to land and raid. Apparently not. He's not even continuing with the water battle anyway, but he is, much more importantly, coming for Paladin, Spaden coming for Elite Mangudais. But once those Paladins are gonna be coming in from Kalashnikov, aka the Han, well, you can be kinda guessing that it's gonna be way beyond any kind of abilities that Run Forest Run could be actually having to overpower them in this match. But at the same time, it might be coming even a bit later or a bit sooner, the other way around. This battle is already not looking all that great. The castle is coming down in no time through the trebuchet fire in there, and of course, just basically the sheer amount of units those Mangudais are apparently getting through for a bit of radiant. So yeah, it could be really working for him. In the meantime, we're just waiting for Red to somehow prepare himself for whatever he wants to do. Apparently on the water he's not gonna be continuing with the warfare. He's probably not gonna be coming for the warfare there all that much. Otherwise, well, where is he really? Ah, here he is. He's establishing himself basically right on the right side of the water. Oh, sorry. Not really water, but rather map, that's what I wanted to say. Elite Mangudais, are they fully upgraded? Well, not. Slowly getting there. Plate bar in armor and bloodlines do come in for Nikov. So, of course, fully upgraded. Elite Mangudais from Nyax, joined by fully upgraded Paladins from Nikov. That is gonna be one hell of a scary combination for Bullet and for Spaden as well, especially since there's a lot of help by all those galleons from Patin. They're definitely doing their job as well, as the castle has been killed. Another one is gonna be made, which is gonna deny any kind of economy for the Archivas at this point. So they are still continuing and trying to find some kind of way how they could be surprising their opponents, but is there really some kind of way like that? Even the trade, of course, is a whole lot better right about now for Clan Gaucho, so they don't really have any kind of problem with the gold in the long run. As there is, yet again, some kind of attempt on the water, as Cannon Gallon finally coming for Patin. And I'm thinking that might be one of the last straws, because once that gets there, it's gonna be goodbye castle, goodbye most of the shoreline. Of course, for the opponents, Nice coming for Siege Ram and Bullet even for Light Cavalry. So this is basically the moment where you know that the situation is getting very problematic, that he cannot even produce enough Paladins to supply the population limit for himself. And yeah, well, it's just not really working for him, because you can see even the population limit. Spaden at 180, 173 for Bullet, whereas the opponents, Patin, 190, Nyax is full pop at 200, Nikov at 180, and they are all fighting, so you can basically just see that it just doesn't add up for RFR somehow overpowering this, unless Clan Gaucho made some kind of crucial mistake, and to be honest, so far as they are playing, it doesn't seem so. But let's see, maybe some kind of idea is still there for RFR to turn this match around. For example, like some kind of secondary landing, but it's gonna be getting really tricky, as we could have seen already the first Cannon Galleon being made. And of course, advancing ever forward as the castles are being made, but GG's at the same time are also being called. And yep, Run Forest Run, after very brave battle, are recognizing that this time they're not gonna be fighting for the gold as they did last season, because they were silvers in the last season. They lost to Frantic in the finals. This time it's gonna be Clan Gaucho, who is gonna be assured a banner of either gold or silver variety, and they're gonna be waiting who's gonna be fighting them from the other semi-final that is between New Chapter and Clan Gaucho B, funnily enough. So are we gonna be seeing a Gaucho final? Well, that would be weird. That would be weird. And to be honest, NCs are quite strong favorites in there, as they did already beat them in the group stage. And they already met in the group stage and they won NCs. But at the same time, Clan Gaucho, they are overpowering opponents that are supposedly, or rather were supposed to be better as well. And they are just playing really well and coming to their full strength. So let's see, maybe it's gonna be surprise number 3. But in this match, well done by Clan Gaucho. But it definitely wasn't a match that RFRs couldn't win. RFRs were playing very well. The Arabia was definitely in their power. Most definitely in their power. They could have won that. This was also kind of tricky. But to be honest, it seemed like a bit better strategy by Nikov, or rather Nikov, Clan Gaucho overall. And it just resulted into the victory. But the Arabia, that was a really close one. That was, I think, one where RFR could have surprised their opponents quite significantly. Well, that didn't happen, and it means that congratulations Clan Gaucho on clinching the finals, and Run Forest Run are gonna be playing for the bronze banner against, of course, the other team from the other semifinals between New Chapter and Gaucho B. Let's check the achievements in the meantime. That's gonna be Nayax. Well, yeah, he was playing the pocket well, but this time Bullet was a really good pocket also. But that was the problem with the landing of Nikov into Dark Device. That was absolutely scratching all the plans that RFRs could have had. And that was probably the winning move right there. It was really so much for Dark Device to handle, and he just wasn't set up to handle that at all. Well done, nice idea by Nikov, and it definitely worked. Definitely worked right there. Okay, well, nothing really major. It was just basically later in the game to get better Imperial Ages and upgrades and such. It wasn't starting with the sling. It wasn't the first idea. But yeah, well, they just were able to boom better than Gaucho. And it kind of tends to steamroll from there. And snowball as well. Okay, GG.